Hello everyone and welcome back. Welcome back to the channel. So today I want to talk about something that has been in my mind for a very long time, and hopefully by the end of this video you will be able to kind of learn all about these strategies on how you can reflect on your learning process journey. So now this video is going to be all about reflection on particular type of pronunciation, which is, of course, British English and pronunciation. I'm going to help you reflect so that you can reach, the most important and the most highest place that you want. And of course, to overcome procrastination along the way so that you can actually be able to, to take advantage of this opportunity, which is a new year, a blank year, 2025. And of course, to be able to learn from it. So, before I get started, just to let you know, I've got kind of a lot of things that in this video that I want to talk about, and it's all about reflection, to be honest. And hopefully, if you are one of those people who they procrastinate all of the time, this video is going to help, and hopefully, it's going to help you to choose the right pathway that you might need to work on in pronunciation, particular type of pronunciation, sounds, and also vocabulary, whether it's idiomatic expression, all that kind of things. And hopefully, I hope this video is going to help you. So please stay tuned to learn all about these strategies on how you can reflect on your new year, which is 2025. So now, before I get started, ask yourself why, for example, now why you've chosen to learn British English, why you've chosen to learn British English pronunciation. Let's begin, or let's talk about why you've chosen this particular accent. In the first place, I think probably you might say you like the way the people talk, or the history, or you might like the culture, or the way the people connect to each other. Okay, or maybe you might like the literacy. Okay, so like Shakespeare, Dickens, and all these kind of writers, and you might like the just particular sounds in British English pronunciation, or you might like the sounds how the people talk, and just you have to know that there are lots and lots of different accents, a variety of different accents in the UK. So you might need to be able to, you know, to reiterate what accent works for you, okay? Because there's a lot of different accents. If you say I want to learn British accent, um, it's kind of it doesn't really make sense. And it's because there are lots of different accents, a variety of different accents in different places in the UK. Um, but the accent that is most popular is the popular accent that a lot of people they speak with, which it doesn't have a geographical area, a geographical destination in the UK, is only one accent, which is a standard British accent, or sometimes it's known as Southern accent. Whether you are aiming to for career, for example, or to explore British culture, or even to communicate confidently with native speakers. Mastering British English can open like countless doors for you, but let me remind you, mastering anything it takes time. Okay, the journey ahead is full of ups and downs, and it's not a sprint, but it's a marathon. Because I think whether you're trying to like perfect a particular skill at the moment, you want to learn a new language at the moment, it takes time, it takes years of practice to get better at it. Okay, if you get better at it, it's just um because you've been putting a lot of you know a lot of efforts, you dedicate yourself to practice and to perform better and to perfect it. So it's all about that. So first question, ask yourself why I've chosen to learn British accent, or why I've chosen to learn British accent or British pronunciation. It could be any type of pronunciation, it doesn't really matter. But what I would highly suggest, try to figure out what accent that you want to learn at the moment, and then try to reflect on it. If you've been practicing for a very long time and you don't see any progress, that something needs to be done. You have to you have to just make sure that you identify your mistakes, and so you don't repeat the same pattern of mistakes every time. How you can overcome procrastination. So now, procrastination is sneaky, and I would say procrastination is a killer of growth, killer of everything. Let's face it, the reality is we all procrastinate, of course, in different areas, in different aspects of life. Um, because of distractions, of course. Fear, it could be failure. You procrastinate because you don't want to fail, or a lack of motivation. Sometimes you demotivate yourself. I mean, procrastination has a way of sneaking into our learning process, whatever thing that you want to learn or you're learning at the moment. But here is the truth, okay? If you want to achieve something, you want to accomplish something, as rewarding as mastering British English, for example, or anything in life, you need to kick procrastination to the crap. You need to kick it to the crap, okay? You need to leave it behind. If you haven't, you will always procrastinate and you will always stay in the same place. So reflect on it, why you procrastinate, why you want to overcome procrastination, and what thing that make you procrastinate all of the time. Because procrastination will never, um, will never lead you anywhere. You will stay in the same place. And but you might wondering how you might want to overcome procrastination. Well, the first step I would say, um, you need to ask yourself why you procrastinate. It's because you think that the task is too big, for example, or maybe it's too difficult, overwhelming, or you do feel like, as I mentioned earlier, you feel a little bit overwhelmed. But the idea is improving pronunciation, for example. Um, it's important that you put a lot of effort. It's important that you don't procrastinate, even in small sessions, because small things lead up to big results. If you don't need to do all at once, like for example, if you procrastinate, I mean, you can take a small, manageable, and of course, um, like small steps. Okay, so don't put a lot of like minutes or a lot of work. Like it's it's not gonna make you anywhere. You will stay in the same place. Okay, so please do make sure that if you if you like kind of make procrastination the day from day to day life, you procrastinate a lot. I would say a challenge for you to commit like to just 10 minutes, for example, a day. It's simple, but it's yet powerful way to you stop procrastination, because it's small things done consistently produce big results over time. Use 10 minutes, even 5 minutes, to focus on aspects of British English, for example, whether you're listening to podcasts, practicing your accent, or reading, kind of a book, a chapter book, on improving your pronunciation. And don't be hard to yourself, okay? So, because that's how you get things done. And it's not perfect way, actually. Just keep showing up. And even if it's only a few minutes, consistency is the key. So, big things, small things done consistently produce big results over time. And the next thing I want to talk about is reflecting on your progress. Let's say if you made a progress, make sure that you, as you take a smaller step, take a time to reflect. It's easy to get caught up the rush of learning, but true progress happens when you pause, evaluate. So let me ask you a question. How far have you come since you started? How many progress you've done? reflecting your progress can be incredibly motivating. Even the smallest improvements in your pronunciation of vocabulary can give you confidence to keep moving. I think that's even better. It's a way more better to recognize your progression along the way and ask yourself these questions. Ask yourself these questions. Can you recognize subtle differences between the British and American accents? Have you noticed that your vocabulary is becoming more sophisticated and sounding more British? Do you feel more confident speaking with others? Even if you make mistakes, ask yourself these questions. Each time you reflect on your journey, you will realize that the progress is happening. You are evolving, and that's what matters the most, okay? You are creating a foundation for fluency. And with each small steps, you are getting closer to your goal. I think this is very important. Reflecting and ask yourself these questions because it's very important, and it will help you to just stop procrastination and to focus on your perfectionism, and you'll get there. And next, I want to talk about the power of pronunciation. So now the power of pronunciation. Let's talk about the core of British English. So now, pronunciation. If you've heard the British accent, you know that it can be distinct and powerful, right? And it carries sense of authority, and but it also the language that rich with a subtle pronunciations. I mean, like is very very obvious different accents, but particular accent that is one of the most fundamental accents in the UK is very, very important. It's kind of authority. So, and here's what you want to remember: pronunciation is a skill. Okay, can be developed. This is a muscle practice. It doesn't matter if you don't get it perfect right away, because every time, every effort that you put in bringing you closer like a true British speaker. Pay attention to rhythm, pronunciation every time that you listening to native speakers, talking to people, or even recording yourself. Try to identify the vowels that you can't actually pronounce it in the same way, in the same like a British person. And one of the most effective ways to improve your British pronunciation is, of course, by imitation and mimicking native speakers. Listen to podcasts and watch British TV shows and try shadowing. I've done the shadowing technique, and if you haven't watched the video, I'll link it down below. Please make sure that you watch the video, and it will teach you how to shadow if you don't know what shadowing technique is. Okay, the more natural is like you will feel it starts by starting by focusing it on individual sounds, then move on full sentences. The last I want to talk about, in order to reflect, you want to create a plan for success. If you want to develop your pronunciation, you want to create a plan, okay? We know that learning a language isn't always easy, okay? But with a solid plan, solid foundation can achieve success. So, well, let's create someone, one plan for you here. So now, first of all, what you want to do, decide, set a clear goals, decide what you want to accomplish in short or long term. Do you want to master British R sounds, schwa sounds, O sounds, or sounds? Or do you want to have a full conversation in British English specific? And then you have to create a routine. Pick up a time every day, every week. Dedicate yourself to studying British English. Even 10 minutes or 20 minutes a day will make a huge difference. Use resources effectively, and find podcast videos and language apps. For example, I would highly suggest Hello Talk and Free for Talk, and of course Cambly, and I will link them in the description below. and of course, please check them out. These are the places where you can practice your English. Practice with real world materials that help you to immerse yourself in the language and track your progress, okay? Celebrate each milestone, whether you're mastering a new pronunciation or finishing a grammar exercise. Reward yourself for the effort. And yeah, finally, you just have to stay consistent and keep showing up, okay? Even when it gets tough, procrastination might try to sneak, but remind yourself why you started at the first place, why you started the journey. Remember, learning a language, not a destination. There will be challenges, of course, but also the moments that, you know, keep you pushing through because you've got this, okay? So, I think that's all about it, basically. 2025 is a year of transformation to transform your English, and it's the year you break through the barriers of procrastination and yeah, I mean, learn British English and perfect your pronunciation. You have everything you need. I mean, to succeed, all you need to do is commitment, commit yourself, and a little bit of courage at the same time. Don't demotivate yourself. And I encourage you to look in the mirror right now and look at yourself. What have you achieved in 2024? What lessons have you learned? It could be anything really. You don't have to be English language in general. Yeah, so just take action because if you keep repeating the same pattern of mistakes all of the time, you're not gonna get anywhere, and you stay in the same place. So yeah, so that's it. That's all about it. The British accent you've always admired to get closer. So yeah, I mean, just dedicate yourself and put a lot of effort on it as well, and you will get there. Trust me. And yeah, I mean, if you like what you saw today, you enjoy the video, please don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And that's it. And yeah, just to remind you, the podcast is now on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts at the same time. And hopefully, if you want to listen to, you'll find the link in the description below, or even in the link in the bio. You'll find there in the description below. So that's all about it, and I'll see you soon. And I hope you found this video useful. And I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye bye.